What's going on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you today. I am bringing you the 15th episode of the Be a GM series. So in the last video, very disappointing. We lost again in the first round of the playoffs. Spoiler alert. But if you want to go back and see what actually happened, make sure you go and watch it. I know a lot of people don't seem to watch the boring sense of the videos, but either way, it has to be done. Either way, but going to the offseason, we did have one retirement. And actually, before I mention that, we did want to mention Tampa Bay and Springfield did win the Stanley Cup and the Calder Cup, respectively. Tampa Bay beat St. Louis, and I'm not sure, or it was Springfield and Utica, I think, in the AHL. I'm not really exactly sure about that one. But either way, going to the retirements, we did have one, Danny Heatley, playing on our third line left wing. So he is gone for next year. So either way, we have a spot to fill. And going into the draft, we do have, I believe, a first-round pick, 24th overall, being our prospect scouting. I'm not exactly sure how good that pick is going to be, but going into the draft, what are we looking for, and who do you want to take here?
Well, you've got four guys there, all four white stars. Heap's not a bad option. Go down one more. Christ, maybe, maybe Dubois, but personally, I'm going with Heaps. Playmaker, doesn't, solid player, highest projection, we'll say. So I would take Ryan Heaps here.
Definitely agree. And I think three of them, I believe, are centers. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but
yeah.
Either way, center seems to be our strong point in the organization. However, we are going to take another center in Heaps. I do like that pick. Good job. And going into the second round, we do have an earlier pick at 14, so we will have a better player than at 24 if we did have our original pick. So our second round pick is going to be someone in this draft. I know that's kind of broad, but either way, there doesn't seem to be one of the players that we had last time, but we do have a left wing sniper that's right-handed, or a bunch of these guys that have a little bit lower, or a couple of guys that have a little white star here. So if we look at this, there's no real player that really stands out to me. I do like the bigger defenseman personally, but either way, do you have a guy you're more focused on here?
I was looking at Chow there, 3.5 green star potential. You guys know 3.5 green star might not be his actual potential. It's just estimated. It's supposed to be pretty accurate. But I would look at him. I mean, he says he's a left wing, but he shoots right-handed. And I know you very well, so I know you hate when that happens. That's why I also didn't mention the right winger that shoots left-handed. That was right there around him as well. But I would take, Dylan Chow here. So you can play him on either wing. From the United States, 20 years old, so he can already play in the AHL for you. So that'd be my pick here, Josh.
Definitely agree, and I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I believe it was in the first year we did get Dylan Strome. That still has not played for us because of his age restriction in the AHL, and his overall is not good enough, as I do take Chow for us. But back again with the third round pick, and probably after this round, after we draft this player, I will cut out the rest of it because there's not really that much of a good draft, or deep draft, I should say, for this one at least. But 24th overall pick again in the third round. There's a couple players still here. I do remember both these players from last time, but I do like both of them. They're kind of the same player, except for one's a center, one's a right wing. We basically need more right wings. However, we do have still a bunch of right wings that are still either unsigned or too young to play in the AHL. So do you have a preference here of either one that we take?
Go back up to Paquette for me for a second. I don't really think it matters. I'd probably go with Barger. I mean, I kind of pay attention to the league interest, the potential, stuff like that. I'd probably take Barger. As you said, we have a lot of centers, also have a lot of right wings, but Barger would be my pick here, Josh.
Definitely think that's a good choice, but either way, if he doesn't turn out to be much, then either way we can just get rid of him. But from now on, I will cut out the rest of this so it isn't so boring. So we will see you once the signings do start. Going into the reassign stage, we are fighting a major problem here, and if you don't notice already, it is the salary cap or cap space problem, whatever you want to consider it as. So if you look at our team, we do have at least 3 or 4 guys that still need an NHL contract that want a lot of money. So we have a couple of moves in mind we have to make in order for our team to work. And one of them is actually trading Anderson, which we were planning on doing anyway. And the other trade we're probably going to make is on our defensive core and probably Sekera, because he is making a lot of money that we do need for other things, because Weirkoch is still making $4.25 million for I think the next 3 or 4 years. So we definitely need to make a move there. But either way, we're going to start out with the signings and get those done first. But Kyle Turris, first on our list, either playing first or second line for us next year. Looking into it. But he does want 6 years. We're probably going to go somewhere around, let's think of a number here, 5.5. Is that too low? I think. Let's try 5.25 at 5 years. Because either way, he's going to go till he's, 32, right?
Yeah.
32 years old, and probably have one more contract and he will be done. But Kyle Turris, 5 years, $5.25 million. Will offer you that. And Zach Smith, perfect fourth line center, wants $2 million-ish, but we're going to offer you 1.5 at, what do we want? Let's say go at 2 years. Do you want to keep him at that?
The salary makes sense, but I don't know about you, but you might want to wait to make that deal until we get some of the more important guys signed. I don't know. It's up to you, but 2 years at 1.5 for Zach Smith looks like a good deal once it is time to make it for him.
Definitely agree. Like you said, the important guys first. But I'm going to sign Chris Lazar because I know he does want an AHL contract. And I will get the other guys signed first. And Ryan DeZingle, he doesn't have that great of potential, but he did do really good last year in the AHL. So I will sign him for another 3 years. And if after that he doesn't perform, then we'll release him. But either way, some of these unsigned guys that do have good potential that can be in the AHL, I will sign after we get all the good guys done and signed. And here's one big thing. Hunter Shinkarik, 88 overall at 22 years old. Now you think that's perfect. You still got him. But he does want $7 million or so, or if not more. So what we're going to do is actually restrict him. We're going to tender his qualifying offer. I'm not exactly sure what that means. But either way, that means we do have him until someone else offers him better or they match his salary. But going into these other guys, I'm going to sign him really quickly. Because I know he wants an AHL contract as well. But going to the rest of these guys, like I said, we'll sign them later. Here's another question we have, Alex Chiasson. He does want somewhere around $2.7 million. And I'm not sure whether to bring him back because he putting up the same numbers as a Mark Stone. And he does want $2 million, which we can spend on something a little bit better. But a fourth line guy, a power forward at $2 million, kind of a little much, but kind of not at the same rate. Eric Condra wants an AHL contract. Do you think we should bring Eric Condra and or Chiasson back to Ottawa?
I'm going to touch on Condra first. I would let him go. You can get something just as good, if not better, for a little bit more money. And he is unrestricted, and it's most likely doubtful he'll sign with anybody else because he isn't that good. So we could always get him at a later date. As for Chiasson, he would be playing the fourth line, but he contributed a lot to the depth scoring. Personally, I would bring him back at $2 million per year, or 2.25 is what you'd probably have to go to. But I think that's a good deal for Chiasson with what he provides for your team.
I definitely agree. He was very crucial to us this year, but these little AHL guys I'm going to release because they haven't really done anything in the AHL or gotten better, and already at 25 years old, not doing too much for the club. But here's another question in Paul Postma. He is a great depth guy, but would you bring him back?
I didn't see how much money he wanted, and if you're going to trade Sekera and or Weirkoch, he'd be a good guy to have at $1 million. I think it's a great deal. No, whether you end up using him or not, I would probably keep him as well.
Definitely agree with that. $1 million in 1 year. You can't really beat that for an 80 overall guy, especially if we trade a guy like Trouba or Sekera or whoever we do end up trading. I realize I didn't go through the rest of the AHL defensemen, but I'll go through that in a minute. But here's the more important question. Robin Leonard, we definitely want to bring him back. But with Craig Anderson being traded, we can't trade him until July 1st, which is kind of dumb because I think you can if you're out of the playoffs. I'm not really too sure about that one. But Chris Driedger, definitely going to bring him back. Got the 3 Green Star potential and did very well for them last year, along with Moody and Herringer still are there, still developing, still becoming good players and good goaltenders. But Leonard here wants $4.6 million. Definitely not going to give him that right away anyway. So somewhere around $4 million. How many years does he want here? So asking price of 4.9. I think let's try a 5-year at $4 million. I think that'll be good. And if we do end up getting him for that, that'll be great for us. But let's simulate a day here and see who actually signs with us, because we are fighting salary. So hopefully I didn't go over. If not, that'd be pretty crucial for us, because I'd have to buy out someone like Anderson, which I want to trade and actually get something back for him. So Paul Postma back. Jason rejected, and it looks like the majority of them did re-sign, and it does look like someone with a major contract didn't re-sign. Okay, so Zach Smith, I don't think we even offered him a contract yet. Greening, we didn't offer him a contract yet. And, okay, Shieson was the guy I was thinking of, I think, at $2 million. Didn't re-sign with us yet. And Robin Leonard didn't. So we might have to offer him a little bit more than we did last time at 4.25 at 5 years. I think is a good deal as we go into the second day. I'm actually going to go through the AHL defense real quick and bring them back. Now, Mikhail, whatever his name is, Wickstrom, he's a good player in my mind and a great depth guy at 23 years old, definitely putting up in the AHL. So I'm going to give him a 3-year deal at $700,000 a year. And going to the rest of the guys, Chris Weidman, I know he's your favorite player in real life in Binghamton, but should we bring him back being 76, kind of on the upper end of the AHL, and being kind of the oldest member, looking to give someone like Sopanen or Palu or whatever his name is, or some of the young guys more of a look?
Well, Josh, 2 things really quickly. I don't appreciate your leading question because you kind of are implying that you don't want him back. But as to answer your question as whether I want you to bring him back, yes.
You do want him back?
Yes. Yes.
All right, well, we're not Daniel Bryan of the WWE, but is he actually performing is the question. He is. He has gotten better every single year, but we'll bring him back on a 1-year deal. Just so he can keep him, and hopefully he still contributes. But the main reason was, yes, I was looking for guys to bring in. But I'm going to sign Jeremy Roy now because if not, then he's going to go to free agency, and I don't want anybody else to pick him up. But Andres Engelin, he is a former second-round pick for Ottawa, but I don't think he really has a spot here in Ottawa. Do you agree with this or not?
I do agree with you, Josh. Hasn't quite done much yet. I think we've got plenty of other guys that are able to fill in well.
Definitely agree. I don't know what that guy's name was, but either way, we're going to look for the rest of these guys to re-sign, as we still have a couple guys that we haven't offered contracts, mainly because we're trying to get the more important guys first. Then we will focus on our bottom 6 guys. But Robin Leonard back with us, that's good. And then the rest of the guys, obviously AHL guys, did re-sign. So we have $7 million to sign, I believe, 3 guys. I don't remember exactly, but Zach Smith, definitely going to offer you a contract. Perfect 4th line at center. But I think let's go 1 or 2 years at $1.5 million. That is great. 29 years old and a 4th line checking guy. Or he says 3rd line, but he's really a 4th line guy. Everyone knows that. And I don't think there's any other guys we have to re-sign there. Hunter Schikarek, we are going to wait on to actually offer him a real contract. Colin Greening does want kind of the same contract he wanted last year. It was at 1.75. Let's offer. I can't talk. Let's offer him $1.5 million again this year, and I probably won't accept it, and probably accept 1.75 later down the road. And our right wingers, we have Alex Chiasson yet again. Basically, our 4th line didn't re-sign yet. But 2 years. What money do you want to give him here?
Did you try 2.25 yet? Maybe somewhere around 2.4 if you want to go a little higher, but if he signs, any more than 2.5 million, it's probably not worth bringing him back at that point. So I don't know. We really got to figure something out. maybe he is worth 2.5 million, depending on the role he would play. But as we said earlier, probably playing on the fourth line, so not really sure just how high you should go with him yet, Josh.
Yeah, I definitely agree. $2.5 million is kind of the maximum for me, at least. After that, you could probably get something a little bit better or a little bit different that would put up a little bit more numbers for us, even playing on the fourth line. But I think we just offered him a contract. I think I pressed A on that at least. But let's go to the next day, see what we have going on for us here, and going into like fourth day or whatever it is. But everyone rejected, so that's kind of disappointing. But let's go re-sign them really quickly. Hopefully they'll accept these offers. If not, then I'm going to start being angry at these guys. But 1.75 for Colin Green, probably going to re-sign because that was the same contract as last year. Zach Smith, probably around the same deal at 1.75. And who's the last guy? Shea-san, probably around the same. If not, no, we're actually going to sign him what? Let's go 2.4, 2.45, somewhere around there. Let's go with 2.4 at 2 years. I think that's a good deal. But going into the rest, obviously we want to re-sign Shinkarik eventually, but we have to make a couple moves in order to do that so we can actually have him playing next year. So we did sign all of them. We do have $3.6 million left, and obviously some of the rookies I will sign after the re-sign stage is over and we know who our NHL team is, and that way we can sign depth for the AHL. But either way, as I will simulate through to the next couple of days here, obviously Shinkarik will be probably number 1 or at least top 5 in the free agents until we do sign him back. But either way, we'll know if someone else tries to offer him because he is restricted, and we will get picks if we can't afford him. But looking into trading wise, we are going to make a couple of trades, and or at least look for trades, and then we'll bring you in for the trades and show you what's going on and whatnot. So we will see you in a second once we find the trades.
Well, Josh, I was going to make the suggestion, maybe just try Sekera for Clefbaum in this trade, and then figure out a different trade for Anderson and to get back either a backup goaltender or a series of picks. But I think you should make this the base of a deal. It looks even, but obviously they're going to say, oh, we don't want the salary of Andre Sekera. So we'll have to see what to do here. We might have to either give up a pick or retain some money to try to make this trade go through and save money in the long run.
Definitely, yeah. Money is definitely a crucial feature here in salary cap. But we'll go through one for one, and it does. So even if we gave up a little bit more, we did get a player in Clefbaum back, and it gives up, I think, about $3 million. So we do have enough. Well, actually, we don't have enough. We still need to trade Anderson. So we will look for another trade now, and we will get back to you once we find it. So we did just find a trade for Patrick Weirkoch to Florida for Quentin Howden. Now, the reason why we're doing this trade is because we need more salary to sign some players that we do want. So it's kind of cutting in half in a way, and kind of not at the same time. But we do need a third-line center. I know Curtis Lazar we do have, but I think we are going to send him down for a little bit more conditioning, a little bit more seasoning, just to get used to the game and get a little bit more points under his belt. But will this go through? No, it won't. So we're going to have to throw in a pick or something on our side. Now, they don't seem to want any picks, which is kind of strange. Okay, so finally we did have a trade go through in Patrick Weirkoch and a third going to Florida in Quentin Howden. So we did just do that, and we will see you once we make something else happen. I did just find a trade for Alex Chiasson. Now, in this situation, we had to trade him because in our roster, it doesn't really work out with the players that we have now. So we did go to Tampa Bay and find Andre Palat and Alex Killorn. I almost said it wrong again. But for trade value-wise, we did have to throw in Dylan Chow. We did draft him, I believe, this year, and a third-round pick. So it would kind of go through. But will it? No. So let's try to throw in a little bit more trade value and a second-round pick. And that doesn't work as well. So we're going to go
said it was quite close, though. So maybe a second and a third, and maybe the year after that might go through.
Yeah, well, let's try that. And it does. Good job. So we just get Andre Palat and Alex Killorn without an H in it. So that does fill a lot of holes for us. But we're going to go and try to find something else for the team, and we'll bring it back once we find it. So after a very, very, very long off-season here in Ottawa, we did come finally to the preseason, and now it's time to show you guys the team, because I didn't put everything in the video, only because it would take way too long. But let's just go to the line straight away, and then you guys will see afterwards the regular season. We'll skip right through the preseason. But here are the lines for this year. We have Hoffman, Zibanejad, and Ryan on our first line. So we did take Turris off. And one thing also to notice is we did move Shinkarik down to the second line. And you also may notice right away that we did actually trade Jordan Eberle. Just salary cap wise, it had to in order for us to sign Shinkarik. So in order to do that, we had to trade him. And we did get Silverberg in the trade backwards. So we did get kind of the same player, just a lot less salary came back. We also got Quentin Howden. I think I showed you that. And Palat we also got in the offseason, as well as Kilhorn and Palmieri. So basically half of our team is brand new to the system and everything else. So going on to our defense, we have Yandel and Carlson returning yet again. Then we have Weirkoch and I forget who else, Sekera, that we traded away for Clefbaum, and we still have CC and Truba, and then we have Postma, only because we had to trade away a lot of salary to keep the players that we had and make the moves that we did. So, and also one thing that you guys probably didn't see that I should have showed, but we were trying to trade Anderson. Now, why we were trying to do that is he was an 84 overall going into the offseason. So we were trying to trade him like crazy. We had about 12 different situations that that just didn't work out for the other team. They wouldn't accept because of his salary or whatever. So we ended up keeping him. Now, we were expecting him to be an 84 overall backup goaltender for this year, and then he ended up jumping back up to 88. But we do still want Robin Leonard as our starter, so that's where he is now. And going along, this is our team. So in the next video, you will see the regular season, and I think Chris will be back for that one. But anything else you have to say for this video?
No, just interested to see how all these new pieces fit together and see if we can do even better than last year.
Yeah, definitely don't want another first-round exit. But either way, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment what you think of the series so far, or what you think of the new team, or what changes we made, and all that other good stuff. And subscribe if you're new. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you later.